What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. We are here celebrating back-to-back victories for the first time in a long time. 3-1 Liverpool over West Ham United. I am your host, Steve, as always, joined by my brother Scans and our main man out in London, Wahomie. Hell of a game. Everyone who's tuning in, we appreciate you guys. You'll go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Really appreciate it. But let's get right into it with our opening statements on the match. Honestly, I was really glad to see what we did in the second half today. I was a little bit worried seeing the starting lineup. I'm not going to lie. No, hearing Mane going down with an injury, no Bobby Firmino in the starting lineup. I was really concerned about us being able to create chances. With that being said, amazing second half. Mo Salah, holy shit. What a performance from him. He's back and firing. That is exactly what we need to get into this tough stretch of games. But all in all, huge 3 points with all the other score lines this weekend. We're now in third place, 1 point behind United, still 7 points behind City. But all things being said, the fact that we're in third place right now, can't complain too much.
Yeah, I thought it was what a game. I mean, I was worried about this one going into it just because West Ham have had such a great season. You know, they were in fourth place, I think, going into this game. So this was just a massive match. And I've been saying it for the past few weeks now. When we were underperforming recently, the big issue for me was Trent Alexander-Arnold and Mo Salah. That right side just was not competing. They just weren't up to par. They weren't their best. And what have we seen the past two games? We've seen Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold at their best, and that's a difference maker. You know, like Sadio Mane and Robertson pretty much carried us for the first half of the season, I thought. But that right side definitely went to sleep a little bit recently, but they have come back with a vengeance and they look back to their best. So I think that's the big difference for me. Great to see Trent back. And Nat Phillips, I thought he did fantastic on Mikel Antonio. Mikel and Antonio didn't get a goal, didn't really get much of a sniff for the most part. You know, aerial duel wise, I don't know the percentages, but I think Nat Phillips came very far much ahead on that one. So happy for him. Looks like we might be signing a center back pretty soon, but hey, I thought Nat Phillips had a great game.
Yeah, I think for me, it was a huge win today. You know, we saw Leicester get beat 3-1 by Leeds. We saw United drop points. Everton lose to Newcastle. So today, especially City winning again, we had to respond with a victory. And of course, just like everyone else, I wasn't 100% sure with the starting lineup. You know, I admit I wasn't sure about starting Origi. You know, I thought Bobby should have started. But obviously, the first half as well, I felt like we were playing Thiago a bit too deep for me, and he wasn't getting the game centrally. He was getting the game too wide, I felt at times, you know. But I felt like in the second half, we changed it around because obviously Thiago went to the left-hand side and Milner went to the right, where West Ham were getting lots of joy, and then that stopped West Ham getting joy down that right-hand side. And I think we just upped it up at second. Whoever said at halftime we upped it up. So for today was like a huge win, and it gives us, you know, that's back-to-back wins in London, and you know you can see the confidence is flowing through the team now, and I think like onwards and upwards. You know, Brighton next, and then City after that. So bring it on.
Do it.
Bring it on, indeed. Let's get right into the rundown, boys. But I think the most logical place to start would be the starting lineup. I think we were all pretty surprised to see that what the front three was. Salah starting with Xherdan Shaqiri and Divock Origi of all people. And then the other head scratcher was seeing James Milner back in that midfield. So, Mahomie, I'll start with you since you predicted the 3-1 victory. How concerned were you when you saw the lineup initially from Klopp?
Yeah, I thought I'd be concerned because I thought, you know, I didn't think Origi had warranted a start, but obviously I can understand why Klopp played him actually to deal with West Ham's height and use him at set pieces, because there were a few good headers that Origi made in the second half. So I could see why he started him. And I did feel that, you know, the first half, I thought we would go for, if we're going to drop anyone, we'd play Salah, Minamino and Shaq in that way. But obviously, Klopp went for, obviously, Origi's height. And I thought in the first half, there wasn't that much in terms of chances that we created, you know. Like, it felt like we were doing one too many passes. We weren't getting Thiago on the ball. I didn't feel there was enough movement from Shaq and Origi. And also there wasn't only Milner's one making runs past West Ham defenders and making space. So I thought in the first half we weren't, although we had good possession and West Ham didn't really do anything in the first half, and we held them at bay. I thought we just needed to up it in terms of moving the ball faster. Yeah, thank you, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan's coming up with Wahomey here. Wahomey tweeted this in the second half, and he has since said that he was wrong. So that happens every once in a while. We tweet our opinions. I was wrong last week when I said Milner shouldn't get a sniff of games last week against Spurs, and he had the game of his life. So hey, we're all human. We're all human.
Yeah, I take it. That's all part of football. So if you're coming at me, just think: have you ever tweeted something wrong yourself? Because I'm pretty sure you have, even during game. So it happens to all of us.
Yeah.
So
that's fired.
But yeah, just saying. Yeah, I just felt like we upped it in the second half, and I think that was the key thing for us.
Yeah, in the first half, I actually DM'd Wahomey and I said this. What we were lacking was nobody was really taking a chance in the midfield. Gini Wijnaldum was obviously playing the 6, but Thiago and Milner weren't taking too many chances. It was just kind of kicking the ball back and forth. But when they did take those chances, Milner making a late run to the corner or Thiago doing the same thing, that's when we started to create a little bit. Once those guys got into some space, obviously that moves the defense around. If we move the ball quickly, we can find some more open space. So that's when I think we were at our best. We realized that going into the second half. And then once Curtis Jones came on, as Dylan mentioned for us, that was the big impact. First touch, he dribbled into space, passes it to Mo Salah. Mo Salah 1-2 quick moves and then curls it into the top left corner. So, I mean, that's really what it was for me. I was very surprised not to see Bobby Firmino in the lineup. I'm not sure. I was debating with Wahomey what the issue might be because it just didn't make sense. He had a great game against Spurs. Why would you play Origi in this game? I'm not sure. Maybe there was a little knock, maybe late fitness issue. I don't know what it was, but I thought Divock played okay. But clearly we were missing Bobby. But I guess in this one we didn't really need him in the end.
Yeah, I mean, and what did you guys think of the first half? Because there was another half where it seemed like we kind of dominated possession and, kind of dominated the flow of the game, yet couldn't find a goal. Is that something that you guys are concerned about, or were you just more concerned of, hey, we put in a good performance and then really, carried that on into the second half?
Well, I think for me, it's more the case of like we, obviously adding new players in that haven't really featured that much, Origi and Shaq. So I think there's obviously going to be a lack of cohesion up top, and I think obviously, I think at first half as well, we were doing one too many touches in midfield. We weren't making runs. We weren't moving the ball fast enough. Although I get what Trevor's saying, that he thinks he played well. Yeah, we had possession of the ball and West Ham didn't really threaten us, but we didn't really trouble West Ham the first half. I don't remember
zero goals, 0 shots on target.
Yeah, I don't remember them having any saves to make. So all the possession doesn't really mean that you're playing well. It just means that you're keeping the ball. And Liverpool, naturally, because we played a diamond versus West Ham 2, we're always going to dominate field possession. So I didn't look too much into it in that first half because of our formation, how West Ham lined up in our formation. It was only the second half where Klopp said to them.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just going to say, in the second half, Klopp said to them, play the ball faster, have more, and make more movement. And you saw a massive difference in the second half that wasn't there in the first half.
Yeah, it seemed to me that whenever someone like Shaqiri was on the ball, he was in there to make a difference as that top of the diamond. But whenever he had it, he was forced to turn away and kind of pass it back to Thiago or to Milner or to Gini. But that kind of changed in the second half. We saw him much more on the ball, and he was the one who led that break almost for the second goal with Salah. And what a beautiful ball that he put in! Holy shit! And that's why he's on the team. You saw what Klopp did afterwards. He completely embraced Shaqiri, that he almost disappeared into his jacket. But you could tell that he was having some kind words for him, and he was like, "This is why you're on the team." And he showed it in that second half today. He was absolutely brilliant, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, keeping it on Shaqiri for a minute. I think this is what Liverpool fans knew that he could bring, and there's so much frustration coming from our side, being like, "Why is this guy not playing more?" We understand his lack of defensive prowess, but we always talk about how we lack the creativity piece in the midfield and going forwards. He brings that, and the second half was a classic example of why Shaqiri is valuable to us and why he signed a 5-year contract with us. He should be a guy, if he's not starting, he should be one of the guys that when we're tied or behind, he needs to come in at the 60-minute mark every single game. Like in my opinion, he has earned that since he's come out of the basement.
Yeah, I thought he kind of struggled to make an impact in the first half, but something changed in the second half, and he was able to get on the ball a little more. But no, I completely agree with you. He definitely has a place in this team when he's fit. He just needs to stay fit. So if we can manage his minutes, that's huge for me. I was glad to see Oxlade-Chamberlain get some time as well. He was instrumental in that third goal with Gino Wijnaldum. So hopefully, if he can get going as well, the pieces are finally starting to come together. Hopefully, we can get Virgil van Dijk back in April. I think I saw something like that on Twitter, which would be just massive, absolutely massive. So it's all coming together. City next weekend.
Yeah, I think obviously that we just I still think like in the second half we were able to start using Thiago more. I think the key is we need to get him on the ball more. The more he gets on the ball, the more we look more of a dangerous side. And I don't think in the first half he was getting the ball in dangerous positions enough. I think that's the key in terms of like what he offers. I think we need to use him more. But I think overall, if I was when I was looking at Thiago overall, I still think he could do way more than what he's doing. I know he's working about fitness, but I think he could do way more. And I think like we need to see more from him and get him more on the ball if we are going to win a league title or Champions League.
We just overall, look so much more threatening with him as the 8. I was saying it for a while. Gini needs to move to the 6 because Gini wasn't creating enough on his own. Thiago can create so much space with one single pass. And that's what we've seen recently. He just switches the play. He's constantly knows where everybody is, and he's forcing the defense to think twice. There's a couple of times he played the ball over the top to Salah, and that through ball he played to Origi in that first half. It just makes the defense kind of back off a little bit, and it opens up more space. So I think that's key, having him further forward on the pitch.
Yeah, I think with Thiago, what I'd really just love to see is having somebody in the 6 behind him and just giving him the freedom to kind of just roam. We talked about this with Callum on the Friday's Final Word, but I think that's what we need to do. Let him have more of a Gerrard effect and just let him kind of find the open space, take the ball there, and then just let him do what we know that he can do. That's really what I want to see. I think that's when we're going to be at our best.
Yeah.
But with Hendo starting now, he is now up to 286 appearances in the Premier League. So I think he's 4th all time on that list. I mean, how solid is this guy for us? I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Now he's playing center back and he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, I just loved him today. You just hear him shouting, "Go on, Origi! Go on, lad!" I just love his shouting in the games, and how he's like always encouraging people, telling people to push on, get people in position. People slate this. There's a small section of fans, Liverpool fans, or even rival fans who continue to slate Henderson, saying he's not good enough, or he's not world class, blah blah, whatever, all this nonsense. But how many players can you say, can be asked to play centre midfield? He does it well. Can be asked to play as a box to box, does it well. Then as a number 6, does it well. Even at times he's done it as a right back, done it well. Even now he's been asked to play centre back. How many players can say been asked to do that, but yet do it at a top level? Not many players can do that. He might not be like a Ronaldinho with flashy skills, but he's still a fantastic passer of the ball. He's still great positioning, drive, leadership.
Yeah,
he can score goals. He can create good passes. So he's a top player. And there's a reason why so many top managers always want Henderson in the team. They always want he's one of the first names on the team sheet. And I think again today, we're playing a West Ham team that are very good in the air. They scored that goal in the last few minutes, but overall, Henderson and Phillips nullified Antonio and West Ham's height and stuff. So I think again today was just another outstanding performance from Hendo. Of course, we'd love to see him back in midfield, but
I was just thinking.
Yeah, he's putting in great performances.
Could you imagine it's such a miss having him as a center back instead of in the midfield, though, because could you imagine having Henderson in there instead of Milner? I mean, I thought Milner actually has had a great 2 games for us recently, but imagine Henderson making those late runs. His quality is just the next level up. Just 'cause, I mean, Milner's 35, so but just missing him in the midfield is just massive. So I don't know. Have you guys heard anything about Fabinho? Is he coming back soon? I think you guys said it was just a short-term injury, so maybe more cautious.
Klopp said he expects him back for City. To be back for City game.
Back for City. Okay, so we still have Brighton. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have him for Brighton, but honestly, I think Nat Phillips' performances the last couple of games, I think I have no concern with him playing against Brighton with he and Henderson in the back. I think that's going to be perfectly fine. I was really impressed with him. Like you said, his aerial prowess is really good. And yeah, I think I would still love us to bring in another center back, especially for the Champions League and when we play the top 6 clubs. But when we play a middle of the table team or a team at the bottom of the table, Nat Phillips is earning my trust. He doesn't make mistakes back there. He plays simple, and he's really good in the air. So, I mean, he checks all the boxes, and I think he's a really good partner to have. If you have to start Henderson back there, I think he's a really good partner for his aerial prowess.
Yeah, he just has more aggression than Reece does. Reece is just kind of, a little stoic, I guess, in some of his movements, but he's just not afraid to get into a tackle. And he clearly wasn't afraid of Mikel Antonio today. I thought he was absolutely fantastic on him. But props to him and Jordan Henderson. They almost kept the clean sheet. It was just kind of a mishap on that last corner kick. But, I mean, this is our 8th and 7th choice center back at the moment. Not too bad.
I just saw a stat. Someone just shared a stat on Twitter. They were like, Thiago for Liverpool versus West Ham. Most touches, 119. Most passes, 102. Most final third entries, 15. Most duels won, 8. Most tackles made, 5 and 1. A big influence. So, he might not be actually doing as much, we think, in terms of flashiness, but his influence is underestimated.
I heard someone tweeted that Martin Tyler and Gary Neville were criticizing his impact on Liverpool. And then he puts up a performance like that. What are they talking about? There's just such clear bias with those guys. But
they were saying that he's too slow, that he doesn't fit into Liverpool's style of play, that he's the reason why we're not playing as well. And he doesn't fit the Liverpool way.
Yeah. In terms of passing, he had 91 out of 102 completed. That's 91%. Or, I'm sorry, 89%. But still, that's unbelievable. For 109 passes, or 102.
Yeah, he controls the game. Like they say he moves too slow, and I completely disagree because he can hit a pass and nobody else can hit. So if it takes him another half a second to hit the pass, it's still getting there faster than anybody else in the team can deliver.
Yeah, exactly. And if you kind of watch what happened today, like Genie One Island playing the 6, at times he'll turn and he'll take 3 touches and then he'll be staring at his pass and then he'll pass it. Thiago takes 1 touch pass, 1 or 2 touch pass, and they're quick touches. He moves the ball so quickly. He might not himself move that quickly, but he moves the ball with such pace and accuracy that makes it such an immediate impact.
So what do you guys ultimately think of Divock Orgi's performance today? He had that one chance from the pass from Thiago. And I mean, he did move a little bit more than he typically moves. But what did you guys think of his overall performance today?
Yeah,
I think. Go ahead, Andrew.
I thought he struggled for big parts of the game. I thought he was okay in other parts of the game. I mean, he's a step below, probably 2 steps below what we currently have in the front 3. So unfortunately, he's not the replacement for Roberto Firmino or any one of the front 3 that we need for this Liverpool team. If we want to be successful, we can't have someone like Divock Origi coming off the bench and trying to let him make an impact. It's probably just not going to happen anymore, unfortunately. I think he needs to join a different side. And hey, maybe if he does, maybe he'll end up turning into like a Danny Ings or something like that. I don't know if he'll have that much quality or anything like that, but he clearly just needs a change. I think he struggles against a low block. He's better when it's an open field, room to run, but didn't really see that today. I thought he was okay, maybe 6 out of 10.
For me, from the defensive point of view, I think he made a few good headers away. I still don't think he's like. I agree with Andrew. I don't think he's good enough, or he offers enough. Like, for someone with his size and his ability, he needs to be far more physical in terms of holding up the ball, linking up play, making more runs. You know, like, and he doesn't do that. Like, he's too static at times in terms of his movement. You know, and I don't know why for someone of his size he's easily bullied off the ball. I should be like holding up the ball. So, you know, I still think like he needs to, you know, he played okay today, but I still feel that he's not. He needs to be moved on. That hasn't changed my mindset that he's not. He needs to. He hasn't got a Liverpool future. He needs to go. But
I just think it's tough. I think it's tough for him too because he's not a number 9. He's not a false 9 like Bobby is. You know, I mean, Bobby's more of like a 10 right now, and the way that we play, it suits Firmino playing that position. But Origi is a flat out 9. He should be in the box looking for tap-ins. He's like that kind of striker, you know, looking for the header. But he's not a false 9 who can come to the ball or, you know, beat 3 guys like Firmino can. You know, it's just not gonna happen with Origi. And like when we put him on the wing, I hate when we put him on the wing. He's not gonna do anything on the wing.
Agreed.
Yeah, I think Origi's issue is the fact that when he came in the 16-17 season, when we had that UEFA Cup run, his actually link up play was good. Like before he got injured, his hold up play, link up play, and playing as a false. He scored like good goals like against Dortmund, home and away. He was good. Then that idiot Moraes injured him.
Yeah.
And then after when he came off an injury, he was never the same. That link up play and all that stuff went. So I think that obviously that's completely altered his game. But I still think like I agree. When he played in the wing, I don't see the point. Like Klopp obviously doesn't trust him as a striker. So if he doesn't, he can't play the wing.
I just don't think that's our style of play at all. Like, you know, we need him to come deep into the midfield to gather the ball and then spring the ball out wide. He just can't really do that. I mean, he can a little bit, but not as effective as Firmino. Once Firmino came in today, you know, he was finding that space. He was dribbling into space, and you just don't really see that with Origi.
Yeah, so, I mean, kind of going off of that, let's talk about the second half, especially Mo Salah's performance. I mean, holy shit, he looked like the Mo of old. His movement was incredible. I mean, his first goal was a great touch, side netting, unbelievable ball from Shaqiri for the second goal, and a great touch by Salah. I mean, how important is it for us right now with, you know, coming off back-to-back wins, Salah starting to find his form. Last game, Mane played great. Firmino played great. Firmino was a great sub today. How important is it that right now our front three are starting to find their form again?
I thought Salah was outstanding today. You saw it against Spurs. He didn't score, but he looked really good against Spurs, and he was unlucky not to have scored. And I thought today he was outstanding. His movement, in the first half you could tell he was trying really hard to get in the game because he wasn't getting the ball in dangerous spots. But his movement in terms of like running late and making good runs behind the West Ham defense was good. And his first goal was just Salah, pure Salah. That reminded me of like 17-18 Salah, where he did that kind of goal. He just cut in and curl it, and the keeper has no chance. And yeah. West Ham had they backed off him, thinking he can't score from there, and he did. And the second goal, that's his world class. He's the best striker. Yeah. He's top goal scorer still, best striker in Premiership. Forget Kane or the other ones. No one on Salah's level. That first touch to set it, and then tap it past the keeper. It's ridiculous. And Shaq's pass. So I think we're seeing Salah getting back into form. And I was going to say this before. It's not often that Liverpool win without Mane.
Yeah.
Normally you'd find that we win without Salah, we win without Bobby, but it's not often we win without Mane. And today we won without Mane, and Salah was outstanding. So
basically,
yeah, he's looking like the old Salah again.
Yeah, for me, it just looked like his confidence is completely back. He like what homie said, he was just the big thing for me was in our recent slump, he wasn't taking on players. He wasn't trying to push the envelope. He wasn't trying to go one-on-one. He would maybe try to dribble past one guy. If it didn't work, he would just pass it back. And it just wasn't it wasn't the Salah that we know. And then you saw a couple times today he was trying to get that curler, and it finally went for him. And then that touch was just absolutely fantastic. But I guess my question to you guys is, what do you think about the formation change? It looked like we had Salah and Origi up top, and we had a diamond midfield.
I kind of liked it, to be honest. We talked about last game of the Tottenham match how we played more through the middle, and it was almost unstoppable for them. And I think going to that formation, we outnumbered them in the midfield. And again, another great team performance because we tried to play more through the middle. And I think if we can continue to play this way and make teams honest about, okay, like we need to pack the middle of the field because Thiago and Wijnaldum are bossing us, that's just going to open things up more for Robbo and Trent. And then that's when all of a sudden it's, okay, pick your poison. How are we going to beat you? So I think for me, I love to see Klopp finally get away from like the old tactics and try some new things. And I think it's only going to be better for us as the season goes on.
Yeah, I think it's good that we have like that versatility to try different things, different formations, and it can pull off wins. West Ham, going to West Ham, it's not an easy place to get a win. West Ham had only conceded like 24 goals. They've had good results against the big clubs. They were this season. So I don't think they've lost many at home either. So to go, we tried different formation, it worked, and we were good value for our win. And we had the players who got missing as well. And West Ham pretty much had more or less their best team out. So yeah. I think that actually bodes well that we have that versatility. And we have to obviously, credit to Klopp. He got his subs. He's come under fire in the past for subs, but today he got the subs on. Totally right.
Yeah.
Because Jones came on, made an impact. Ox came on, made an impact. He got the subs right. He won us the game. So, I think it's good. We're showing. And it's good to just have these 2 away wins as well, back to back. That should give us more confidence on the road.
That's what's huge. I mean, Trevor even said in the chat, he's like, this is the first time I don't know when that we won 2 away games in a row. And that's just it. Is the Brighton game at home or away?
Home.
It's at home. Yeah. So, I think that's going to do massive things for their confidence, obviously winning 2 tough games on the road, both in London, both against some, top 6 teams. But no, I agree with you. I think it's good that Klopp has finally kind of realized that we're becoming a little too predictable. And we're switching it up. A diamond midfield, I don't think I ever would have expected that. And having Shaqiri kind of sit in a little bit was good to see. The intent was there, and I'm glad that it actually worked out. The second half was just brilliant to watch, just absolutely brilliant to watch. It was just liquid football. I loved it.
Well, going off of that though, right? I mean, I think this is the first time. Not only this is the first time we've won 2 away games in a row. I think this is the first time in 2021 that we've won 2 games in a row. And to have 2 performances like this back to back, heading into Brighton and Man City this weekend, like I was really concerned leading into that Tottenham game. I never was taking Liverpool to win until I saw something. I think we've seen a lot from this team the last 2 games. I mean, how important is it to keep this momentum going through Brighton and have a 3-game winning streak with 3 good performances heading into Man City?
And I think it's vital. The more wins you get, that old story. The more wins you get, the more confidence you get. And the fact that we've won 2 difficult games away, we then follow up with a win against Brighton. We go into Man City game full of confidence and fully knowing that we're good enough to beat Man City. Good as Man City have been, I don't think they've been that amazing. To be honest, and Man City.
I think they're right for the taking. I really do.
Yeah, Man City don't have a good record at Anfield. They always bottle at Anfield. Their record there under Pep, even before Pep, under Pellegrini and Mancini at Anfield is awful. Their best players always bottle at Anfield, whether it's De Bruyne, Sterling, Aguero. They never score at Anfield or get assists at Anfield. So, we should go into that game knowing that City haven't been tested. Realistic in the games they've been playing. They've been playing against teams they should be. They expect City team to win. So I feel that we win against Brighton. We then go into that Man City game with Fabinho back. Hopefully Matip back too if it comes back, because they said he could be back for Brighton. Then we go into that game, we win it, and then puts massive pressure on City. So I think it's vital that we win against Brighton, having another good performance.
What's the final word on Matip? His injury wasn't as bad as they first thought.
Well, Manik said that it's not as serious as they thought, and that there's a chance he'll be back. They're waiting for scans, but the chance he could be back for Brighton. But if I wouldn't risk for Brighton, I'd save him straight for City.
So originally they thought it was ankle ligament damage, and then it could turn out to be a rolled ankle.
I think so, yeah, more or less.
I mean, that would be huge, though. If we could have Fabinho and Matip in the back for City, and be able to have Henderson in the 6, I feel very.
You guys even said it on Friday with Callum. You said that when I listened to the episode, you said that one of Matip's injuries problems might be that whenever he comes back available, we just throw him into the lineup. We don't really give him time to get back into things. We don't give him time to have a few training sessions. He just kind of gets thrown back in. And that was also another issue with Naby Keita. But I mean, I think obviously if he is fit, unfortunately, he's going to have to play against Man City, unless this kid from Preston is anything worth writing home about.
Yeah, there's a lot of news coming out about him right now. It looks like about a $2 million deal. Maybe having a medical tomorrow. Do you guys? I'm not gonna lie. I don't know anything about him. I can't tell you what he's good at, anything like that. Well, homie, do you know anything about this guy?
No, I just tweeted. I just asked how he is, and some people are just saying to me like that he's a good enough. Some people are saying he's a good enough Premiership defender, good enough to be Premiership defender, but he's not like a defender that's going to save our season. Like it's not a title winning centre back, but he's definitely Premiership level centre back. People are saying, and he's good in the air. He's got a good left foot, decent pace. And that they reckon he's better than Phillips.
I just read on the Athletic, James Pierce just did like a quick bio on him, and I think we're getting him for like $2 million. But he's played, I think, 135 games for Preston in the championship, and it looked like he had 6 months left on his contract, and Celtic were gonna go after him. But I guess we're gonna try to sign him, and he's gonna get a medical tomorrow. That's what this article was just saying. But other than that, I don't know anything about his physical quality or his game quality or anything like that. I guess that remains to be seen. But I thought Nat Phillips played well today. That's why I think he should be getting a nod over Reece anyway. But.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I just again, I don't even care how good this guy is. This is going to be nice to have another natural center back in the lineup.
Yeah. Well, it's tough because you just throw him right in there. I mean, Liverpool's defense. You have to know how to play a high line pretty effectively. You need to get on the same page with your fellow defensemen, and I don't think you can just throw him in there for City if Matip's not available.
No, I wouldn't play him for City. I would say give him a week or two of training. See how he adapts to the squad, and then put him in. Because, like I said, if I feel good about Nat Phillips right now, I do. So I'm okay with having him go for a couple of games. Not a long-term solution, but he's a good stopgap for now.
Yeah. I
want to talk about Ox's performance coming off the bench. I thought he was pretty instrumental for that Gini Wijnaldum third goal of the match. It was nice to see him put in a decent performance for the few minutes that he played.
I thought Ox looked bright when he came on. He made some good passes, some good runs, and the back heel to Firmino was his football porn. So it was just beautiful. So I think obviously if we can just get Ox. I know we say this all the time with Ox and Keita about their fitness, but we can get Ox just fit. He's a threat in terms of his goals off the bench, and he can score goals. So we just need to try and get Ox with some kind of fitness, and he's a very good player to have come off the bench or play in certain games. So hopefully he can build in this. But I thought he looked quite good, quite like a bright spark when he came on.
Yeah, I don't think that players like Oxlade-Chamberlain, maybe not Matip, but Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita, Shaqiri, these guys shouldn't play 90 minutes.
Right.
I think that Oxlade-Chamberlain is probably now a guy who comes off the bench to try to change a game. Maybe he starts a game and plays 60 minutes. These guys just, if we want to have reinforcements that are reliable, we need to take care of those assets. We need to make sure that they're not overextended. So I thought Ox came on and played really well. He was definitely instrumental in that third goal. And we all know that he can hit He can hit a shot and he can strike a ball pretty well. But yeah, I don't want him playing 90 minutes. No way.
Yeah, I just thought for me, it was really important for me to see him have a good shift out there today, even if it was only for a few minutes, because I expect, if things go the way we want them to go against Brighton, I would expect the same thing, him to play some minutes off the bench. And if he can just have any sort of confidence heading into that City game, again, he can be a guy, like you said, 60th minute, you bring him on, and he has a belter from outside the box. He could come in, especially with how City plays against us, because it's always an open game with them back and forth. That's the type of game that Ox can thrive in. So if he can have a little bit of confidence heading into that and be like a super sub for us in that game, that's going to be really tough for City. Again, I always talk about, I think Naby Keita is a good guy coming off the bench. Oxlade-Chamberlain could be a huge energizer off the bench for a game like City.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I agree with what Andrew said, that they should only play allocation amount of minutes. They should not be played full 90 minutes because they can't handle it.
I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, but we have a pretty awesome record in London. Is London red and Liverpool red, not Arsenal red?
Very well might be, yeah.
I think the only blip was Fulham, wasn't it? We played Fulham away. We didn't win that. That's the only blip.
Yeah, we tied that game, so it's like, you know, I don't know, man. I think it's one of our things there. But how concerned are you guys about Dawson's goal and like another game without a clean sheet? Is that concerning at all to you, or is it you not too worried about it because we were already up 3-0?
No, we're on our 7th and 8th center back. As long as we put balls in the net, I'm not worried about it. To be honest, like I actually kind of expect it. The fact that we have a center midfielder who's played less than 10 games at center back, and we have Nat Phillips, who's 23 years old and has played in the German second division. So I don't know. I'm not worried about that at all. I think anybody who is worried about that, please explain to me because I don't really understand that.
Yeah, I think we have to be realistic and say, like that was the only. I think it came off Robertson's header. He headed it back, and then Phillips missed it. That was the only time that Phillips missed the ball. Otherwise, he made so many good heading clearances throughout the game. That's the only time he missed it. So it was natural. Like I said, we're playing different centre backs all the time. At centre back. So of course, the fact we've only conceded 24 goals now. Of course, that's still quite decent, and of course, it's going to happen. Until you've got like a stable pairing of centre backs where you play able to play those centre backs week in, week out for runner games, are you going to see like more of an understanding? But it's difficult when you're bringing different people in.
This just in from Paul Joyce. He said Liverpool have now agreed a fee in the region of $2 million with Preston for Ben Davies, Sepp Vandenberg moving on loan. Didn't say what. Yep. We got a center back.
I think it's easy for City. They've had Diaz and Stones fit for most of the season, so it's easy to have two recognised centre backs and be sat on 13 goals conceded. If City had our defensive issues, they would not be sat on 13 goals conceded. The fact that we've got 24,
right? They had those issues last year, and they were terrible. They lost the title by 18 points.
Yeah, but the fact that we've got 24 goals. We're only 11 off City, and we've got our main two substitutions out, centre backs out. That's ridiculous. I think people should recommend us for that. If we had Van Dijk and Gomez, we would be on the exactly the same goals conceded as City. So, so it's easy for them to laud City when they've had they've had the same injuries as we have. So, but yeah, I'm not worried about that goal conceded because as much as frightening it is. And you can see, obviously, Klopp probably was a bit frustrated with it. It's understandable.
I just want to say that for all those people that were saying that Liverpool should be worried about the top four, you're morons. We should not be worried about the top four. Our team is absolutely fantastic. We have the best manager in the world, and other teams are going to drop points. Even Manchester City is going to drop points. They don't look that convincing without Kevin De Bruyne, and I think that we can beat them. I think that they're probably going to lose or tie to someone in the top 4 or top 6. And United have already dropped since they last played us. They've dropped 4 points. They've tied twice. No, they lost to Sheffield.
They lost and drew. Yeah, so they've dropped 5 points.
5 points. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, it's really an interesting time to coming into the City match because I think saw a stat yesterday. I think City's the first team in the Premier League to win every game in January. Because they've won, they're on a hot streak right now. But again, they did just lose, KDB. They weren't super convincing against Sheffield yesterday. What's that?
We're going to end that next Sunday.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Heading into Sunday, we get a win. All of a sudden, City's only up 1 point on us with a game in hand, and who knows what can happen at that point. And I think what's really tremendous about this Liverpool team is you look what happened to City last year when they lost to Port, right? They completely fell apart, and Liverpool just took off and we're up 18 points in the league or something like that. We are now on our 7th and 8th center backs, and we're still within fighting range of the title. I think that really goes to show how good this Liverpool team is.
What's the deal with Mane? Is it just a 1-game injury? Do we know?
I haven't seen anything about him. I haven't seen anything about the injury. The only thing I saw was that he picked up a knock, but other than that, I don't know how bad it is.
Minor muscle injury. I thought it said that, but he should be fine.
I think he'll be fine for City. I think he'll probably play Brighton, but we play against City. I don't think it's going to be anything serious.
Okay.
So hold on, this Davies move is for $2 million. This is a permanent transfer, huh? It's not a loan.
Yeah, I think it's permanent.
Yeah, permanent. I think. Yeah.
Interesting, because when you had James Pearce on, they said they had their center back option for the summer. He's just not available in January. So I'm wondering now if maybe this is just a depth signing for $2 million. That's not bad. I mean, if he can be your
even.
Yeah, it could be something like Matip's gone next year.
Well, people are saying that he's better than Phillips.
We'll see.
I don't know about him, but that's what people are saying. They're saying that he's good in the air. He's, like I said, decent speed, pace, good left foot.
I'll be looking forward to the highlight videos on YouTube that are going to be coming out.
Hopefully, we'll have a lot more to talk about him. Next Friday's final word. Hopefully, we'll have some more information on him, have a nice conversation there. But to wrap it up, let's get into our man of the match here. So. Now, Wahome, because you had the 3-1 prediction, I'll let you go first again. Who is your man of the match?
Until Salah scored, I was going to say Phillips, but I've got to give it to Salah. Like, he was a difference today in terms of those 2 goals. Like, he carried us to that win, and it's good to see the old Mo Salah. Like, he loves the goal against West Ham, and he looks like the confidence is back, and that's just good to see. It's good to see a happy Salah, especially with the comments he said again. I think I saw recently him saying that. No, I think it was Fabrizio Romano saying that Salah doesn't want to leave, that he's happy at Liverpool. We used to tweet that a few days back. Yeah, so with that, it bodes well. If we can have an on-fire Mo Salah leading up into Brighton and City, and we can see like the Salah of 17-18 kind of, where he was like clinical away from home, destroying the best teams, then Liverpool are in a great position for the rest of the season.
Who's City's left back right now? Is it Zinchenko?
I think they play Cancelo left, don't they? They play Cancelo. Cancelo?
No, he's the right back, I thought. They've been playing him at right back.
Let me see who played.
Yeah, I'm looking to see who played.
Anyway, I'm going to say it's definitely Mo Salah. It has to be Mo Salah. Like, for everything that Wahome just said, it's 100% Mo Salah. 2 goals. He's back. He's back at his best, and hopefully he can carry that into the City game next week.
No, against Sheffield United, they had Walker and Zinchenko, and Walker at right back, Zinchenko at left back.
And where was Cancelo?
Not Cancelo
but he has played both sides this year. He has played on the left and on the right. So
yeah. So I'm curious because he's good. I think he's right behind Robbo as best left back in the league. I think he's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, he's a good matchup player. I mean. Honestly, I think Mo Salah was the man of the match, but just to be different, I am going to give it to Nat Phillips. I just thought it's a really strong performance, and we needed it. A lot of question marks in the back, and just put in a solid performance. The more he continues to play like this, the better it's going to be for guys like Trent, and players like that for confidence and just knowing that he's going to be in the right place at the right time. So, hell of a performance out of him, much needed. Great win.
Love it.
All right, but pretty much wraps up this episode. anyone in the chat, we appreciate you guys, putting in your chats, and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet. We'll be off tomorrow, back on Tuesday for the pre-match for Brighton. We'll have our main Brighton supporter back on. He was awesome for the first half, and he'll be back. He'll be back for this one as well. So everyone out there, really appreciate you guys. Another huge win for the Reds. Let's keep up this momentum, baby. But up the Reds, and we'll see you guys next time.